Dude! How's it going, Lorcana moms and dads? My name is Chris, and this is A Parent's Guide to Lorcana. Thank you so much for coming back and visiting the channel with us today. Today, we're going to be talking about what is it you actually need to play Lorcana. We're excited about the game. We know it's a card game. We know it's Disney. But what is it exactly we need to go to the store and buy to play the game? Can we buy too much? Can we buy not enough? What are the things we're looking to get so we can get the cards on the table and get our whole family involved in playing this awesome game? So, for starters, the first thing you want to look for, it's the best place to jump off, is the pre constructed starter set. The starter set comes in three different versions. They're all different in their own way, but they all have 60 cards and they're ready to play out of the box. If you watch my last video, I briefly mentioned that that's what you're going to look for is a 60 card deck to get yourself into this game. Now, these pre-constructed starter packs are just that. It's 60 cards built by the game designer and put together in a package that they believe is the easiest way for you to pull the cards out of the pack and just start playing. Easiest way to learn the games, learn the rules, learn the nuance of the game. Um, this is the best place to start. It's going to be tricky, I think, right now to get your hands on some of this product. But in our area, Toronto, Canada, where I'm from, our local Toys R Us's seem to always have starter sets available. So lucky for us, it's something we can get our hands on. Touch wood, relatively easy at the moment. So I'm hoping you guys have the same luck because that's the best place to start is get that pre-constructed deck and get some games in, get some reps in with those decks. Another place to start if you can't get the pre-constructed decks is some of the Toys R Us's in our area also. I'm just using Toys R Us as an example because that's where I've been buying my stuff from. They sell individual booster packs. Now, a booster pack is a sealed pack of cards, and there's 12 cards in the pack. It's all randomized, so the rarity is randomized, the color of ink is randomized, and the characters are randomized. And the idea is you could take say 24 of those 12 card packs and construct your own 60 card deck from the ground up. This is a bit more difficult as you don't really know what's coming out of the booster packs and you might not get enough of the cards you need to play the game. So what we tend to do is we'll buy a starter deck or two and some booster packs and then we'll combine them. Now, I know what you're thinking. You said, Chris, the game is a 60 card deck. The starter deck has 60 cards, but now I have all these booster cards that I'm adding to my deck. I have an answer for you. So, as you become more comfortable with the game and you start to realize how each card in your deck synergizes with each other, you'll realize that maybe your deck is not doing something you want it to do or you're missing something. That's where the cards and the booster packs come in. Those are supplementary cards that are going to beef up your deck and make it play better and synergize, hopefully synergize, with the cards that are coming standard out of that pre-constructed deck. This is where the fun of trading card games really starts is building the deck, creating a deck and creating its own identity, creating something that plays well together that you can understand. So now we have these two products. We have our starter deck and we have our booster box. Now we have more than 60 cards. So this is where you will take your booster packs and your 60 card starter deck and you'll look at all of your cards and determine which of those, call it 100 and change cards, you want to pare down to a 60 card deck. We'll talk more later in a different video about deck building. I don't want to get too much into that right now because today we're just talking about the things that you need to get started. So definitely look for your pre-constructed starter deck. The second thing would be your booster packs, or alternatively, there's booster boxes. Now, most stores like Walmart, Target, Barnes and Noble will not sell full booster boxes. They'll take the packs out of the box and they'll hang them on the shelves, and you can buy each pack individually for about $6.99 USD. It's about $8 in Canada, but I think it's $7 in the states. And what you would do is you would buy them individually from the big box stores. Now, if you wanted to buy a full sealed pack booster box, you would have to go to your local game store. Now, local game stores are wonderful, and I would highly recommend you support them whenever you can, because at your local game store, you're going to be getting an opportunity to meet other players. You're going to talk to the guys who work there who know the game. They're a wealth of knowledge, and you know that you're going to get a chance to support a local business while you're buying your product. So I would highly recommend trying a local game store, and that will get you the opportunity to buy a booster box. Again, a booster box is 24 packs, 12 cards per pack. So whether you buy 24 loose packs at your local Walmart, Toys R Us, Barnes and Noble, or you buy a booster box from a local game store, LGS, you're still going to be getting the same amount of cards. And when you break it all down, I think the value is still there. It's still going to cost you probably about 100 and change for a box. It's going to cost you 100 and change for 24 individual packs. So now you've got an opportunity to get a starter set, a booster box, or loose booster packs. Now, currently, there are two other ways to get cards, although these are not the best ways to get lots of cards. But Ravensburger has released a trove and a gift set. Now, in the trove and the gift set, you are really getting more accessories than you are cards. You're getting tokens, you're getting life counters, you're getting lore counters. You are going to be getting a handful of booster packs in both the trove and the gift set. In the gift set, you'll be getting two jumbo cards. These are not for play, they're just for show, and it's going to be Mulan and it's going to be Hades. But you're also going to get the super rare Mulan and the Hades playable cards in that pack. So at this point, it's hard to determine whether or not you're going to find value in those because you're a new player. Again, with such limited access to stock, and you find yourselves in front of a trove or in front of a collector's gift set, I would buy it anyway, just to get your hands on some product. Like I said, it's not the best way to get bulk, but you are going to be getting some guaranteed special cards in the gift set with the Hades and the Mulan, and you're guaranteed getting some tokens and a couple of booster packs in the Trove. You're also going to get a deck box, I think, and a card holder. Again, the Trove is more of a glorified gift set, but again, I'm not here to make decisions for you or pass judgment. If that's your thing, obviously, go and buy it. You're going to hear me say a lot. If you like it, I love it. I'm not here to debate whether you like something or something is worth it for you or not worth it for you. I just want to give you all of your options as far as what you need to get into the game. So we have four options right now, right out of the gate. What is it you need? You need a core set to get you at least 60 cards, or you need booster packs to build at least a 60 card deck, or you need a booster box, or you need a gift set, or a Lumineer's Trove, or my personal favorite, a booster box with a couple starter sets, and then you can make your own deck combining the two. But that will get you off and running as far as getting your hands on product and being able to um, play the game. Now, another thing you can do is buy into the singles market. Now, the singles market is an online community that sells individual cards. At the moment, with the availability of these cards being so low, the singles market is very, very, very high. And I don't want you to think that you need to invest $600, $900, $1,000 into an enchanted rare card because that's the only way you're going to get it. Right now, that's the only way you're going to get your hands on those cards is a single market. But I haven't partaked in that. I believe the cards are way too expensive for what they are currently. And I believe that in time, once we get more allocations on the shelves, more product in stores, I'll be able to buy booster packs, crack them open, and actually find those cards that I want. Uh, Even if I don't, worst case scenario, in 6 months, 8 months, a year, when I'm looking to find an extra two or three cards just to complete my 204 card set, I'm hoping that those cards that I'm missing that I haven't been able to find in the booster box, I could buy them individually and they won't be so much. I'm hoping they cost a couple dollars each, maybe even $20 or $30 for some of the rarer cards. But ideally, I'm looking to spend as little as I can just to finish off that 204 card collection with anything that I don't pull out of the booster boxes or out of the starter set. So that's what you need. You need cards. Now, there are some other things that I would say fall into the need, want, but more need category. And I'll go over those with you now really quickly. So you have these cards. You spent a ton of money on these cards. How are you going to protect them? There's a couple different ways to do that. You can buy something called penny sleeves. Penny sleeves are very, very cheap plastic card sleeves. I actually think the this here, this is a penny sleeve, just a cheap plastic sleeve. These sleeves are great if you are looking to store your collection in a card box but not play with them. I penny sleeve all of my cards, so they're protected no matter what. Um, that might be overkill, but if you're asking for my advice, which I don't know that you are, but I'm going to give it anyway because you're on my channel, I would say penny sleeve everything that you have. Now, the other alternative is perfect fit sleeves. Now, perfect fit sleeves fit the exact shape of your card. The penny sleeve, as you saw, was kind of loose and flopping about, where the perfect fit is the exact fit within a millimeter of your card. I do this when I'm using my cards in my deck of 60 to play. I want them super protected, guys. My hands are on them. I got a bowl of nachos here. I got a bowl of Cheetos here. I got a can of Coke Zero. Anything can happen. So I want to make sure my cards are protected. So I will definitely put the cards that I play with in my 60 card deck in a perfect fit sleeve. Then I'll put it in a card sleeve. I'll put a link here. There's a company that I love called Dragon Shield, and they make some of the best card sleeves out there. They feel great in your hand. They're really durable. I feel like they're protecting my investment in the card. You can get lots of different generic brand card sleeves. There's lots out there. You can get card sleeves that have pictures of Disney characters on them or pictures of Marvel superheroes on them. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of options for card sleeves out there, but I prefer to use the Dragon Shield ones, and I'll put a picture up here of what I'm currently using. So for my play deck of 60 cards, I'm going to get 60 perfect fit sleeves and put all the cards in those. Then I'm going to get 60 Dragon Shield sleeves and put all the cards in those. And then once I have that, I am now ready to go and have my cards protected. The reason I say want need is you can do any variation of these. You can play in your penny sleeves if you want to. You don't need to get Dragon Shield sleeves. You don't need to do a perfect fit sleeve first and then put in a Dragon Shield. The Dragon Shields are very, very good sleeves. But I play with my cards. I don't put them on display. So I have enchanted cards. I have legendary cards. I have super rare cards. I have foil cards. I have all these cards that are in my deck right now. I have those cards in my daughter's deck and in my son's deck. We're going to use the cards to play with. So if we're going to use them, I want to protect them to the highest level of protection that I can conceivably do that isn't storing them away in the dark somewhere and not touching them. And for me, that's a perfect fit sleeve and then inside a dragon shield sleeve. But like I said, you can play with just penny sleeves, you can play with just perfect fit sleeves, you can play with just dragon shield sleeves, or you can play with a generic card sleeve. It doesn't have to be dragon shield. So again, want versus need, definitely need, but how much you want to spend is all going to be within your budget. Another thing you want to look at getting is carrying those cards around. Now you've got a 60 deck card to play with, but what are you going to do? You don't want to wrap an elastic band around them. That's going to warp the cards and damage the edges. But what you can do is you can get a deck box. There are, again, hundreds of deck box options out there. Plastic ones, cardboard ones, ones that fold close, ones that Velcro close, ones that are made of leather. There's all kinds of options out there. Um, There are some right now on Amazon where you can get like 60 cardboard dex boxes for about $30. You never need 60. But if you have a bunch of friends who are all playing the game, I would buy the big lot and just split it up amongst them so you all get some card boxes. And what that's going to do is you're going to put the cards in the card box, and you can take your box around all your different game stores when you play tournaments, when you go to your friend's house to teach the game, or you want to bring it to school and play in the cafeteria. Um, you know, this will keep your collection safe while traveling in your backpack. So it's now a discussion about protecting the cards and then protecting the deck of cards, and also convenience of travel. So again, I don't want to scare everybody. The bills do add up a little bit when you start adding these little things here, little things here, little things here. They're not very expensive, the things that I'm talking about. But again, it all depends on your budget, because $5 here, $5 here, $5 there, $10 there, it's going to add up in the end. So always stay within your budget and buy within your limits. Um, what are you going to play on? I talk about kitchen table all the time. Kitchen table, kitchen table. If you've never thrown a card down on a kitchen table before, it's entertaining because it will fly from your end of the table all the way to the other end of the table. You need some way to keep those cards from shimmying and shaking and moving around. So what you want to do is you want to get a play mat. Now, Lorcana has some beautiful play mats right now. There's a Steamboat Willie, there's a Maleficent, and there's a Maui. We just saw in the release of Chapter 2 coming up in November, there's going to be a Winnie the Pooh, a Honey Pot Wizard, and a Beast from Beauty and the Beast. So if you like those characters, maybe I would hold off on the three that are out there now. Now, you also do not need Lorcana playmats. The ones that are coming out do not have any painted on areas that tell you where your cards go, or have a banish pile or a deck pile or an inkwell pile. They're just blank neoprene playmats. So if you don't like any of those, you can go to your local game store and you can buy anything you want. A Yu-Gi-Oh one, a Pokemon one. They have some generic ones with just dragons or wizards on them. It's completely up to you. This leans a little more into the want, but I will say that as you start tossing cards on the table, you don't want them flying around and shifting around everywhere, because you are touching your cards a lot when you play. You're touching them to say which ones you're activating them. You're activating your ink. You're telling your opponent you're going to do something with this action, or you're going to sing this song. You have your hands on your cards a lot when you're playing this game. So you don't want to move it around the table and getting all crazy and wild. So I would say get yourself a neoprene game mat. That way your cards are going to be safe and sound and where they belong while you're playing the game. The starter sets do come with damage counters. Now, your characters will take damage, and sometimes, and I'll briefly touch on this, but sometimes when your character takes damage, it's not the full damage that they can handle. Example, if their strength is a 5 and I hit you with a 1, then only one of your health goes away, which means you have 4. Well, your card is going to say 5. You can't change the picture on your card. But what you can do is you can put a damage counter on top of the card to tell your opponent, this is how much health I have after you've done that attack. So my 5 character is now a 4, and this is how I'm going to let you know. There's all kinds of damage counters out there. There's a lot of people in our Lorcana community who are making custom 3D printed damage counters, which are very, very cool. You got to check them out. If you can find them out there, they're super cool what's going on in our community. Really creative stuff is happening. I like to use 6-sided die because it's super simple. If I have a 5 health character and he goes down to 4, I take my one 6-sided die, turn the side that says 4 on top, and place that right on the card and go, there. Now you know I have 4 health left. Super simple. You can go to your Dollar Tree or Dollarama, reject shop, wherever you are that sells just packs of cheap die. Grab a few of those, and you're good to go. So now we have a way to do our damage counting. Now we have a way to put our cards safely on our table with our mat. Now we have a way to protect them with penny sleeves, perfect fit sleeves, or dragon shield card sleeves. And we have a way to carry the cards around in a deck box. And at this point, you have all the things that you need to start playing Lorcana. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the Lorcana app for iPhone or Android. Ravensburger has made a wonderful companion app that you can download for free on your phone. In this app, they give you a lot of tools that are going to help you with your collecting, and they're going to help you with your playing. In the Lorcana app, they will give you a list of all 204 available cards for you to purchase. When you select the card that you're looking for, you can then tell the app if you already own the card and how many of those cards you own. So it lets you track your collection so you know what you want and what you need. There's also a wish list section on the app that you can mark with a heart on all the cards you don't have but you want to get. This way, when you go to your local game store, or maybe you go to a tournament or a Comic Con or an event, you can bring your app and you'll know, oh, I'm looking for a Gaston. I'm looking for a Belle. I'm looking for a LeFou. And then when you talk to people who are trading, you'll know, and you will not have to remember what cards you're looking for to finish your set. For playing, it does a couple things. When you build your deck, you can actually list what deck you've built, and you can add as many decks as you want. So that way, when you build a deck you like, and let's say you've played it for a couple of months and you want to tweak it a little bit, you take some cards out, you put some cards in, you change the whole flavor of the deck. You can go back into the app, you can click build a deck, you can make a second deck, and then make that second deck to reflect your new modified deck. That way, if you ever want to go back to the first deck, you'll always have it saved. So you don't have to remember what cards I pulled out, what cards I pulled in. If that second deck really isn't working for you, and all you want to do is go back to the first deck you made, now you have a database where you've saved what that deck is, and you can easily rebuild it before you play a game. They also have a lore counter, because in this game, you win by getting 20 lore. We're going to talk about gameplay in another video, but I just want to quickly go over this really quickly just so you know that it's there. The lore counter, every single time you get a lore, all you got to do is hit the plus sign, and your number goes from 0 to 1, from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3. So when you get to 20, you know you've won. There are lots of ways you can do this. You can get a pen and paper and mark your lore, but I recommend using the one that comes with the app because A, it's free in the app, and it's already in the app ready for you. But again, if you don't have access to the internet, you don't have a smartphone, you can easily just get a piece of paper, write your two names on top, and draw a line down the middle. And every single time you get a lore, you put a check mark. And if there's a card that takes a lore away, you can cross that check mark off. And the first person at 20 wins the game, and that's how you can see who gets there first. So listen, everyone, I think that's it for today. We had a great talk about what we need to play Lorcana, what we want to play Lorcana, and some things in between. So I really hope everyone gets an opportunity to get out to your local stores today. I hope they have stock for you. I hope everybody's getting cards and playing with their family and playing with their friends. I hope we're falling more and more and more in love with this game every single day. I really appreciate you spending your time here today. If you want to reach out to me, please send me an email. I love to answer questions. I love to interact with everybody who's in the community. You can find me on Instagram at A Parent's Guide to Lorcana. You can find me on Discord at A Parent's Guide to Lorcana. You can find me in the Facebook group just as me, Chris Zenga. You can find me pretty much anywhere in the community. Just look for Chris Zenga, send me a message, send me a DM, send me an email, reach out to me. Again, thanks so much for hanging out with us. It's been a blast. It's always a great talk about Lorcana with you guys. Again, I am Chris. This is another episode of A Parent's Guide to Lorcana, and we will see you very, very, very soon. There we go.